Yo guys, Tempo here and welcome back to another video. I want to dedicate this channel into sharing all the knowledge that I have and experience, whether it comes to crafting or profit making or just creating the strongest and most fun builds in the game. We will also showcase crafts on the channel as such, what you see on the screen now, the best stuff in the game, and other like best items, basically full tier 1s in the game as well, how to, well, close to deterministic or deterministically doing it. If you just put enough currency into it, for an example, like really strong items basically that you can yourself craft and not like waste hundreds and hundreds or thousands of divine basically. Now this video is going to be a more budget friendly version of a crafting guide, you know, a little bit more slow paced and detailed manner of a crafting guide basically. A lot of people have been asking, you know, for my build, for example, how to start off with the build. Do I need 1,000,000 divines or not? I always say no, you don't. You can literally start the build off with like mid-tier items and you don't have to pay like 300, 400 divines, as we will showcase here in the video. You can literally craft them yourself for like 20, 30 or 40 divine maximum if you're unlucky. So right now I will demonstrate all the basically currency that we're going to use, and like I said, this is going to be a more smart way of crafting stuffs and wands, and it's going to be a more mass-produced kind of thing, like see yourself as your like the meat fabric for McDonald's or something, you know. Like you're not gonna make furniture for Gucci or something, you know. You're gonna, you know, mass produce, and you know, people will still eat the McDonald's hamburgers, but maybe they're not like extremely good hamburgers, you know. It's just a bad example, but you know, you get the point, I hope. So before the whole video, I want to demonstrate, as said, the currency that we're making, that we're using in the crafts, and explaining them here. Also, I want to pinpoint that if you stay tuned throughout the video, I know it's really hard to stay focused throughout a longer period of video, but I can promise you, if you stay focused and you listen throughout the video and you really adapt and learn this, you're going to make so much currency and or just create your own things, learning how to craft properly. So this is one of the many ways how to craft. So basically, let's start off with explaining what currency we're using. Starting off with left to right, basically, we are going to use greater essence of alacrity. This is to, when you do it on a blue base, basically you put cost speed on it, right? And it's an essence, you make the, well, item rare basically. This is the same kind of item, and it's essence of seeking, and it's basically also just, instead of cost speed, you're now putting it on a weapon, and you're making so that crit now appears on the item and it turns into yellow, right? Then these are going to be the first items that we're going to use on the item, and then we're also going to use a Omen of Sinestral Necromancy in order for this jawbone, for example, to be put on the prefix and not on the suffix. And this is very important because we're going to aim with the Omen of Sinestral Crystallization. We're going to make sure that this one stays on later, and when we click this perfect essence to get +2 level of all spell skills, we now aim for to get like to actually hit the desecration that we put on the prefix basically. So this is a smart way of saving the prefix that we have. Usually this was just like an example here, but you will get like a tier 1 most likely base with like a double blue mod, right? Like tier 1 extra or tier 1 spell damage, tier 1 crit or tier 1 cost speed, right? You don't have to do this base, but this is just one of the many bases which you can craft. I'm just going to example some of them in this video. Now I'm going to take this cost speed for an example, but in the video we will have crit as an example, and we're using the cost speed on it rather than the crit that we're going to use here. So after we have slammed these items, basically, the item will now have full suffixes, basically. So cost speed, it will have cost speed or crit. It will have all spell skills, and it will have cost speed or crit again. So cost speed, crit, and spell skills, right? So we're going to fill the suffixes, correct? And when we are doing this technique and boom, You will also see in the video that we will either hit away the tier 1 or tier 2 mod that is on the prefix, or the desecrated mod. But the best situation is that we actually hit off the desecrated mod and then just re-slam the desecrated mod after that. If you hit away the normal mod that is not desecrated, it's not all doom and gloom. It is actually fine. We can still work with the craft and still make something out of it. Now, you will see in this craft this way of doing it. Like I said, there are many ways of crafting. My previous staff craft video included Omen of Lights, for example. But in this specific craft, we're not going to include it because Omen of Lights, for example, is expensive. Okay, it is extremely expensive. So I'm not gonna, I wanted to make this craft so to show that there are multiple ways of handling crafts in the game. You just have to be a bit smart about it. And also in that specific craft that we did previously, we also included fracturing orbs, and they are also really expensive. So we're trying to do a more of a mass produce situation here, which will take longer, cost way less, and less chance of hitting, but you will eventually hit something, right? But the end result will be that you will save way more currency by doing so, adjusting to the current market, which has gone haywire, right? So after we have all the suffixes, like said, we have one or two, like the prefix, like the mod here stayed or didn't stay. Basically what we will do is just slam perfect exalts and pray and spray, like basically spray and pray with this perfect exalt, right? Slappy slappy. And then you can also use a greater exaltation omen, but I don't use that because, you know, there are some tricks which is like if you hit something, then you choose to do another thing. If you don't hit, then you choose to like slam again, for example. And you will also see us, like if we don't hit, you will also see us basically like trying to annul off the bad mods that we're getting and basically giving the item, you know, first aid kit, so to call it, like trying to save it, so to call it, right? If later on you can, after we have also demonstrated, we will demonstrate the video as well, that if you hit all the prefixes, like all the mods, I mean, and you want to move forward with the craft, basically, right? If you want to move forward with the craft, for example, after that, you can choose to sanctify it, and then finishing off the craft with Omen of Sanctification and the Divine Orb in order to like hit, for example, if you have +5, you can hit +6, and you can up all the mods, but you can also like down the mods, basically, as you can see here on the Sanctification, what it says, right? 80 to 120. So that is more of a gamble. It's an end result kind of thing. And if you want to do it, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, you can just stop with the craft. You don't have to care, basically. But also remember to, you know, ruin up the item and, you know, quality it and so forth and so on. Now for the staff, we are using the Omen of the Black-Blooded, and it is a Kurgal modifier. And also essentially what Kurgal modifier means is that it will add a specific mod that says like spell damage, X spell damage % if you are using spells that cost life, for example. With the staff, with the wand craft, we are going to use a Manamu, Omen of Leech, in order to get increased elemental damage instead of YOLOing for the spell damage, for an example. So this one will guarantee a tier 3 of this equivalent stat, basically. And it does sell. Now for the more, you know, if you want to do the mass production way, I'm going to demonstrate it in the video, but you can also like, there's one more thing that I have in my previous videos, which is basically blocking mana. So like when you do, you just do this, 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 and then you put on the Abyssal Echoes and you fish for mana, and then you slam the perfect exalt when the, like basically the suffixes are filled and you have the prefixes left. You basically block mana, like you take mana in the desecration, and then you slam perfect exalt, and there's a really high chance that you actually get one of the good mods, and then you just, you know, slap on the Omen of Light, annul away the mana, and then you just fish with you know, Desecration and Omen of Lights until you have something good instead of mana for the last mod basically on the item. But in this video, we are going to demonstrate a mass production and like so. So I'm just gonna show you here quick before I roll the video how we do it. So we just slap the Essence of Seeking, which makes it crit here. We already had the haste, right? The cast speed. And then we do the only prefix jawbone basically. So it hits the prefix, right? Now we have two prefixes. So this basically Omen of Sinister Crystallization will only remove a prefix, right? We're targeting the prefixes now. And we wanted really wanted to hit the Desecration because we lose like least amount of like mod value by doing so. So here we have hit it and voila. We now have our prefix still there, for example. And now you have the choice. What do you want to block mana? Basically, if you want to block mana, you can just slap on this, block mana, but we're not going to do it here. We're just going to basically mass produce these, right? So we're going to do this. We hit the mana. We're going to do another one. We hit increased spell damage, actually, tier 3. That's pretty good. But now also we did hit the mana, which is completely useless, so the item is pretty useless. But now we have one more shot. So like this is what I mean with the first aid kind of situation, right? So we can save the item, but it's not guaranteed, obviously. So like here, we want to hit the mana. We didn't hit the mana, we hit the spell damage. So now, like if you would want to, you can try to work with it more. Okay, you slapped like an annul to YOLO like annul. If you hit, you hit. Okay, so here we did hit, right? And also here, honestly, like what you could have done also is what I didn't do now, is you could slap on the Kurgle before you do the jawbone, and you would have had a guaranteed like spell damage mod, for example, but we didn't do it down. But as you know, if you want to do it like that, and then, you know, you have one more chance because we annulled off the mana, and boom, we got mana again, and you just keep doing it like this until you actually hit. We didn't hit again, we try again, okay, we try again, and we actually, you know, as you can see, we still have the item alive, and we have cold, we have lightning damage, and voila. Right? And here you have a choice. Do you want to just jawbone, natty jawbone, or do you want to actually get the, you know, spells as life kind of shenanigan? Which is basically this mod here. A Manamu. Okay, it was actually a Manamu, and it wasn't Kurgle. My bad, sorry. So the Kurgle is actually for the Ringcraft. I'm very sorry about that. Just remove that from the equation. And we are using a Manamu for wands and stuffs. So keep that in mind. It's a Manamu, Omen of Leech for both wands and stuffs. Because I was doing some ring crafting yesterday and my head just got stuck in it, I guess. But here you go. This is the Amanamu. And it basically essentially means that you will for sure 100% get this modifier right here, right? And this one is 150 to 180, let's say, and it's equivalent to a tier 3 pretty much spell damage, right? So it is pretty good as well. So here you can either perfect exalt slam, YOLO, but the odds of it actually hitting like mana, for example, is extremely high. The weight is really high. So you kind of choose what you do here from this moving on forward. Like I said, this is like a mass produce scenario. Like these bases cost like 1 or 2 divines. They are not like expensive whatsoever. Like all the materials are very cheap. Like nothing here costs like that much. Each staff is like a couple of divines only to do. If you do like 10, that's like let's say like 30, 40, 50 divine max. And like if you hit one of them, literally a single one of them, you have made like 200, 300 plus divine, basically, because people are selling and buying these for way more than what it costs to basically craft them. So now we're just gonna slap the Amanamu. Basically, by doing so, we can now do the Abyssal Echoes, but it's not like super needed. But basically, if you want to do the echoes, you can, but honestly, you don't even have to. And now we have the situation here where we essentially have the 100% guaranteed Amanamu modifier. So as you can see here, right? Increased spell damage with spell that costs life. And a lot of builds are playing with this, especially my build as well. Like this mod is essentially pretty much like guaranteeing a tier 3 spell damage. and you can start off the build with this mod. You can play a lot of builds with this mod. It is essentially as good as just having a raw like tier 3 spell damage, basically. So now here, what you can do is you can just, you know, divide it a bit if you want. It's completely up to you what you feel like here. Just gonna divide it a bit for fun. Okay, this one does not does not want to look good, apparently. My god, bro. Okay, we will just satisfy with that. That's kind of good, right? So here you can just stop if you want. You have socketed it, right? You have qualityed it, right? So if you want to stop here, you can. But now, just for the sake of the video, we're going to do this. And kaboom, motherfucker! Right? And we hit the +6. Holy! And that can actually happen, right? Now, this is by all means not the craziest stuff in the game, right? But if you like have this stuff, obviously it is pretty good. It's not the best, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty good. And now, what did this stuff cost me? Like what, 20 divine, because we Open of Sanctification it, right? And let's do the +6 and kaboom, right? Kaboom, bro, kaboom. We're talking about at least now it has this mode instead of spell damage, so we can talk anything from like, you know, 500 divine to 1.5, let's say, right? And that is essentially how you do the craft. Now I'm going to leave you with the footage. You're also going to see an example with the one craft. The one craft is essentially almost exactly the same. The caveat is that we will not get the spell damage increased as cost us life. We will instead get increased elemental damage, but essentially it is pretty much the same crafting technique as we used here, pretty much, right? And you can also do the block mana shenanigan if you want to, but it's like a little bit more high end. This is more like, you know, low budget, low cost, like high efficiency, high profit craft making, right? And it's essential. It is essential that you actually stay tuned for like the video and listen out. If you really want to understand crafting, I'm trying my best to explain it. I will make further videos, like I will tomorrow or the next day, I will try to release the amulet crafting video. Basically this amulet that we crafted yesterday. I'm going to actually try to make this tier 1 and also cost speed on this, basically, instead of tier 2 and chaos resistance, basically. Making this one of the best amulets in the game as well, like so you see on this one, for example, right? It's also like incredibly good, insane amulet, right? So yeah, that is it. I'll leave you guys with the footage. Sadly, I could not I'm yapping a lot in the videos, but the thing is, like, you will have to just you know, watch it without sound, because I'm pretty sure I have some copyright music in there that YouTube will not like. I'm pretty sure I have some music in there that, you know, YouTube might not like. So I will just leave you with the footage, and you can still learn a lot by just watching it and seeing how I do it, and you can apply it for yourself, basically. Also with like the bases, so forth. Now this base, this one actually hit, and I'm really sad that this one hit, because it also has lightning and cold, which are the best ones. But it also has a tier 1, a tier 2 and a tier 3. Usually I do these crafts with at least one tier 1. As you can see here on the video, like you should buy like these bases, basically, right? And you should do what I have here with the trade search. You should have not and sigil of power, not unleash, not consecrate, but because you don't want the all-rounded stuff. Once you want the, either when it comes to wand, you want dueling wand only, and when it comes to staffs, you want to remove the search for these, because they have a significantly higher chance to not look like this and look like something. If it is like a shimming staff, for example, right? It can get all these shit mods, which you really don't want it to get on the prefixes, basically. So yeah, I'll leave you to it. Take care, boys. If you really enjoy the content, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment. You can also watch me on my Twitch, where I stream. And you can say hello, basically. And also, when it comes to the mirror stuff, yes, for my community, I am doing a free mirror crafting service. So that means that if you are a part of my community, you get this stuff basically like no fee. If you have a mirror, you come and mirror it for free, basically. I'm doing it for my community, basically. So yeah, have fun with the video. Hope you learned something. See you in the next one. Bye. And also, like, as you can see here on the screen right now, like, the ones, basically, for example, even though the sanctification didn't hit super good, they still all sold pretty much. So even if you don't hit big, you can still sell and make all the currency back or even more, right? So here is going to be the extremely long video, but like I just wanted to fit all in, and for those that actually just wants to watch the rest part of the video, I have already explained like the whole craft pretty much in the shorter version, which was the first like 20 minutes. Now, if you want to watch further, like, you know, basically all the examples that were made on stream, to further understand the craft, like you can see what I mean with the mass produce sentence that I pretty much spoke about.
Wait, what?